Well, you know what I want to know? Why was it that you were interested into flipping Nikes and or in that at very young age? Where did that interest come from?
I think it came from the fact that we weren't poor by any means, but you know, when you have a lot of kids, like just money stretched thin. We didn't have a lot of money to like do like fun like vacations or eating out, or I always got all the hand-me-downs. And so I was hustling. I wanted to know how to make money so I could use it for my own means. And to be honest, I just always had this deep knowing that like I didn't want to work for somebody else. I didn't want to just do a blue collar job. And I was interested in shoes, and I saw that people would pay hundreds and thousands of dollars for them. And that's uh, just like any entrepreneur. You find a niche, you see if it works, and if it works, you just kind of go with it. And so it was my little passion project until I realized I needed to move on to bigger and better things.
Was what about your folks? What did they do? What kind of work did they do?
My mom was the main raiser in the household. She homeschooled some of us for a little bit. She also worked as like in the dentist office. She was a real estate agent. My dad worked for UPS as a delivery driver for 30 years, and he retired a few years ago. So my mom was really supportive when I was coming out of college. She really supported me. She gave me money, even some money that my dad didn't know about. I'm sorry, Dad, if you're hearing this. And but my dad was definitely harder to connect with because he thought I was just some lazy millennial kid, because he couldn't really see the work because it was all online. He couldn't like see what I was putting my time into. But then after eventually I got that first paycheck and he saw that his son was making more money than he was, then he finally backed off and he was like, okay, that's fine.
So your dad being a UPS driver, do you think that played a role in you wanting to build your own business and then have independence?
Definitely, definitely. My parents were great parents, but my dad worked his ass off. I mean, like 12, like basically 12-hour days for 30 years. He would leave at 7, get home at 7.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? That's awesome. But I am just not that manual labor type of guy. I just can't do it. I've always been a why guy as a kid. Even as a kid, my parents would give me a chore and they would tell me a certain way to do it. And I'd be like, why? Is because that doesn't really seem like the best way. And then my parents would get angry and say, just do it, and I would have to do it. But if I can't find a why in something, or if I don't think something's the best way to be done, I find a solution for it. And so that's what's kind of always sparked the entrepreneurial side of me, is that I want to find the best way to get something done and something that creates the most impact at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, that's the essence of any entrepreneur's approach. There's got to be a better way, right? So you're
Yeah.
doing things and then you find yourselves wasting your time doing it in a way that has always been done that way. And then you say, well, there's
Yeah.
got to be a better way. I'm not doing it this way. So it's typical entrepreneur. Well,
Yeah.
that's quite a story.